Greetings and welcome to the Dingleberry Farm Homestead channel. I finally took the dive and installed an off-grid solar system here on the homestead. Today marks the second full month of operation. I purchased an EG4 6000 XP inverter, 3 EG4 batteries along with a battery rack, and 10 solar panels from Signature Solar. As you can see, I've got everything installed behind me. I'm working on a couple of videos on the installation as well as some upcoming upgrades. I hope those are posted in the next couple of weeks. Today, I wanted to make a quick video on something I've not seen on other channels, a quick guide on how to shut down the system by someone other than myself. First, a bit of history on why we got the system and why this guide is important to me. My wife and I had talked for some time about getting an off-grid system since we experience power outages from time to time. Most outages are pretty short, but in the last 6 or 7 years, we've had a couple that's lasted a while. A couple of winters ago, we experienced a 3-day outage. We dealt with that outage using a generator and a transfer switch. Some of my neighbors have installed whole house generators, but that can get expensive to run, given the price of propane out here. It's also pretty noisy. I couldn't quite pull the trigger to get this off-grid system until we experienced a particular outage a few months back. I was out and about when the outage occurred and wasn't going to make it back for several hours. My wife wasn't comfortable with hooking up the generator and getting it cranked up by herself, so she sat in a dark house with just her tablet and a phone. I got home about 8 hours later, just as the power came back on. That was the last straw, and we decided to go ahead and move forward with the purchase. After some research and talking to the sales staff at Signature Solar, I took advantage of their Black Friday sale. The equipment arrived remarkably quick, and I got everything set up by late December. As I mentioned before, it's been almost exactly 2 months since I installed the system. I've been learning a lot on how to manage the system for maximum efficiency. I'll likely be adding additional equipment soon, but that's another story. Part of my learning curve has been my attempts to make sure I can maximize my solar intake while keeping as much battery capacity available for outages. I currently run 6 circuits using the transfer switch. On occasion, though, I can add or subtract a circuit depending on needs. One reason would be when my batteries reach full charge, yet I'm still getting full sun on the panels. I have a couple of circuits that I can flip on to dump a fair number of watts into so as not to waste solar input. Watching me putz around one day, my wife asked what I'd do if there was some sort of problem. I explained to her how simple it was to shut everything down, and she asked me what would happen if I was out and about again. We decided that I needed to have a quick shutdown checklist for all the equipment and show her how to use it. One of my sons lives nearby and could also use this if my wife and I were out of town. Here's what I've come up with so far. I won't go into too much detail because my system is unique. Yours is probably different. I have a transfer switch, you may not. But in my case, it's 3 major steps. First, on the transfer switch, all the breakers would need to be flipped into the line position to make sure that we're back on grid power. Second would be to perform about 4 steps to turn off the inverter, and then another couple of steps to turn off the batteries. You can also use the same checklist in reverse to turn everything back on. Let me know in your comments your thoughts, especially if you think I've missed a step. If you're thinking of buying solar equipment anytime soon, I've included links in the description below for Signature Solar. Clicking on one of those links will get you $50 off your purchase and will help the channel. For that matter, if you know of anybody else who needs to buy any solar equipment, feel free to send them the link as well, as they'll also get the $50 off. Until next time, take care.